It's Golden Hour Adventure Time, featuring everyday people doing extraordinary things. From the peaks of victory to the valleys of defeat, these are their stories. Now, from the back of the pack, your hosts, Justin and Robbie.
And
And
here
I
we
just fell. There
go.
we go.
Today it's
Oh
just Justin and
gosh.
I. Our
Yep.
our
On
guests had
my
to reschedule because of, I don't, Mother's Day. I get it. Um, we have a lot of guests that just schedule and they don't realize what weekend or holidays are there. And
I know it's weird. Sorry, I'm on my phone, everyone. My computer. I'm in a hotel and it's a nightmare. Sorry. Let me steady myself. All right, Robbie, go ahead. Sorry.
no, it's all good. Don't study yourself. We'll try something new. Justin all over the place.
Oh gosh. I feel like that's all I ever do is travel.
Yeah.
Always.
Well,
I
this is
want to
your first.
look back at my in my military career, and there's a way to capture it. I'll have to figure it out. But how many times I traveled? I mean,
Usually,
I've been on 5 deployments, and so those range anywhere from four. I think my longest was like 7 or 8 months, and then I've been on multiple like 1 month little trips, one hundreds of 1 week little trips, and then I'm a firefighter, so for the first 15 years of my career, I was 1 day on, 1 day off. So I don't know.
you should. And so many times you traveled the world.
Yeah, it's been an adventure for sure.
Yeah, and you've had
But
quite the
anyway.
adventure today.
Yes.
So let's
Yeah,
hear it.
it's a wild one. Well, so I'm here I am traveling to Anchorage. So we don't get many opportunities to drive our vehicles in Alaska. So I took advantage of driving down instead of flying, which is about a 6 hour drive. Nothing, nothing big. I got up early this morning about 5. The plan was to just burn down here and then jump on some trails once I got down here. I'm about 2.5 hours out from Anchorage, and a road construction popped up, and it's, a chase car type scenario. So I'm sitting and I'm waiting on the chase car, and I'm just kind of on my phone because I noticed it was going to be, it's going to be 5, 10 minutes before the chase car comes back. So I'm just on my phone. I actually think I'm talking to Bethany as well. And I look up in my rearview mirror and I see a car coming, didn't think anything of it. And like you kind of get that spidey sense, right? And so you look up again, and as soon as I looked up, they like slammed on their brakes and slid probably like 20, 25 feet. And I bet you they hit me about 60 miles an hour. I mean, they hit me hard. Um, yeah, I mean, I saw it coming. Obviously. I kind of braced myself. I didn't sustain any injuries. My neck does a little hurt, a little, now probably what 6, 8 hours later. And I noticed my shoulder was a little banged up from the seatbelt hitting, but no airbags deployed in my car. The other driver was fine. They were a drunk driver, so don't drink and drive.
Oh man.
um, yeah, the state trooper hauled them away, which I thought was pretty comical. I got to see that. He actually came to the window and he goes, "They have a lot of warrants out for the arrest. Can you guess what it's for?" And I said, "Let me take a stab at it and say drinking and driving." He pulled a bottle of vodka that was like had just a little bit left in the bottle, and so they had been partaking early in the morning because this was about 9:30 in the morning. So.
Wow.
Uh, that's when the magic started happening, but it was a nightmare from there. So I had to get a tow truck. I'm in the middle of nowhere, right? If you've ever driven from Fairbanks to Anchorage, there's nothing in between. There's little podunk towns that have nothing. So I have to get to somewhat of a big town to, get a rental car, find my way down to Anchorage. And so I had to pay the tow driver to take me an hour and a half south to the town, and my insurance company had booked a rental car, but the rental car place is closed, wasn't open until Monday. So now I'm stuck at this auto body shop, which also is not open until Monday. So So I'm just sitting out in this parking lot. I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, I have no idea. So I finally found a buddy that lives, somewhat down here, and they were able to come pick me up at the auto body shop and take me to a rental car place in Anchorage where I was able to get a car. But man, what an adventure. And then because Anchorage is a lot warmer than Fairbanks, if a rental car gets dropped off in Fairbanks, it usually stays there, they say, and it has to be a winterized car. So, of course, they had
Oh,
no winterized cars in Anchorage, and I'm like, it's May, bro. We're good. Like, you don't
yeah.
need to. We don't need to worry about that until January. So
Yeah.
it's like, ah, it's just a
Oh,
nightmare, man. Just a nightmare. So now, like, I don't have a car to get back up there. So now I got to figure out, this next week's going to be super interesting. Try to figure out how to get back up to Fairbanks, and I don't know. It's gonna be a wild ride.
when
So
do you go back
Bethany, if you're
home?
listening to this, you might have to come get me. I'm supposed to go back on Saturday.
Okay. So the truck probably won't be fixed by then.
Well, the tow driver said that if I was, because he had a auto body repair shop as well
Oh,
as a tow truck company, and he told me that if it was his company doing it, he probably would total it.
oh,
It bent
bent the
the
frame.
frame underneath where the bumper is. It bent that
Yeah,
part, and it pushed the
pushed it
two
down,
support rails that run all the way parallel to the vehicle.
yeah,
It kind of pushed those
kinked him.
forward. Yeah, there's two bolts that you can see that the bolts are like jammed back to show that the frame actually pushed forward. So,
Actually,
yeah,
I'll,
and the
I'll
bed
I'll
actually
use
came up too.
I'll use the picture you sent me as a thumbnail for this YouTube video, so you can all check it out.
Yeah, you can all see the wreck. So if you're looking on YouTube, then yeah, this is our tales from the trails where we're not on the trails. So,
It's real
and I,
life
I,
trails.
yeah, I did not get to go trail running today, nor
Uh,
do I want to, because I'm just
no,
like, not that I'm injured in any way. It's just like it's an exhaustion. Like I'm just tired. Like, you know, obviously the drive down that tires you out a little bit, but just having to deal with all the bull crap and the
for
insurance
me,
place is closed. Everything is
yeah,
closed on site. It's just like it's a
and
nightmare.
for me, I'd be out there and be like, "What else is gonna fucking happen?"
I know. And everybody's like, "You're keeping a real level head about this." Like I'd be losing my mind. I'm like, "Well, what am I? What's there to get upset about?" Like the lady hit me. Everybody was fine. That's the ultimate, right?
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah,
was injured.
yeah,
Uh, my daughter wasn't in the car. My wife
yeah.
wasn't in the car. So that's, I'm thankful for that. Um, but it's like, what's there to be upset about? Things are going to go wrong. And you know what? I know this is the stupidest thing ever, and we contribute a lot, but like when life throws you like little lemons, and you're like, what's going to happen? What's going on with this? But it's like I think ultras really just do prepare you for the little crap because you're like, man, I've been through hell in an ultra marathon. It's like, man, today was nothing.
You're right, right. There's no lows here. It's just
Yeah,
I got to figure out. Well, that's one
yeah,
good thing about ultras is figuring out troubleshooting really, right? Because
yeah. It's problem
you had to
solving.
do you had to do a whole lot of problem solving after the wreck. You had to get a tow. You end up having to get a ride because everywhere was closed. Um, but it all worked out like it always does. So it's just like same
Well,
type
we'll
of thing.
see.
One
We're one step into this 25-step process. So
right, right. You're
I
like
may lose my stuff on Wednesday. We'll find out. I'll let you know.
yes, but
Uh,
that's a few days. That's a future trip, and that's down the road.
yeah, that's a future trip. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens on Monday.
Yeah, very cool.
Anyway, yeah, it's excitement. Well, how's your
This
day
is,
been?
it's actually been really good. Besides, it's I always living here in Rapid City, like training in Utah or Colorado, like you get kind of warmed up to the spring. It seems like South Dakota just throws curveballs at you.
Yeah,
Today, it's 87 degrees,
nice.
and tomorrow's supposed to be 95. So
Well, that's fun.
yeah,
95 in May.
in May, and we don't even
Wow.
usually hit 95 in like July or August.
Yeah, that's
Um,
crazy. That's very warm.
yeah, we went. I went for a run this morning, and when we were going down to spearfish, the temperature at 7 o'clock this morning was already low 80s.
Wow.
Then you know we did Crow Peak and
Yeah, I saw you did a double Crow Peak.
double Crow Peak.
That's pretty cool. You know what? That would make a really cool race. I think
And
like if you did a 12-hour or something like that, or like an 8-hour and just do summits of Crow. I think that'd be super cool.
it's funny you say that because uh, I was with Mike and I'm like, I think I'm going to do 12 hours out here. So I'm going to plan on doing 12 hours out there. But I think race I did because it'd be perfect. There's a big parking place. It would be a good,
Yeah.
just a
You could have
timed
just
event. How many?
you just have an aid station at the bottom and then,
Yeah.
it's 6 miles round trip. Well, maybe a little
Yeah.
bit more than six, right? 6.5 or something like that.
Yeah. It's 6.5 because it's, well, depending on whose watch, it was like 3.3 to the top.
Oh, okay.
So
And that's
3.2,
a
3.3,
haul
it
to the
doesn't matter.
top. Like, what's the gain on that? That's a pretty good haul.
So when I got back down to the car back down on the flat, I was at 1600.
After
So
two
it's
or just one?
just one. So it was like 1500 to the top. Then on the way down, we got like another 100 just because of the rollers.
Okay. Yeah.
South Dakota stuff.
That's a pretty
Um,
good because so that's 1,503 miles.
Correct.
That's pretty gnarly.
And you get about 600 of it in the last mile.
Yeah.
You know where you turn that corner and you get on that shell and it's just like up from there. And
Yeah.
but it was hot. Um, we both went through all of our water. I had um, my two bottles with me. Then I had another bottle, two more bottles in the cooler. I wanted to keep them cold. So, drink those first two bottles on the way up, then got back down to the car and grabbed those other two bottles. But on the way back down, I was out of water.
What is your thoughts on carrying a bladder versus bottles?
Well, for me, I I had that old school Camelback, like the one that just held the bladder, and it had like
Yeah.
this little zipper pouch, and you could
Yeah.
even put your keys in there.
Oh my gosh.
And and I mountain biked with that for years, and I loved it because it was a way to carry water, not with water bottles. Then got into running, and like I used a bladder for a long time. I actually used that same Camelback to um, do a bunch of stuff. And then like the first time I did a soft flask, like I've I, I've never gone back to a bladder, and I don't think I ever will go back to a bladder unless like Cocodona.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's no choice. You have to.
Yeah, like if there's, but even what I've been doing too is that naked belt. So I tried with the Bronco when we did that self-supported 50K. I used the Bronco vest, so I had four bottles in that Bronco vest. Then I had two soft flask in my naked belt.
Oh, okay.
So I had six bottles essentially,
Yeah.
and that lasted me pretty much the whole 50K.
Well, I mean, you're thinking, it's what, 20 ounces per bottle? 18 maybe? I don't
Yeah,
actually know how many ounces. I think
I
maybe
think
18 ounces per bottle.
yeah,
That's quite a bit. I mean, that's a pretty good amount. I think the situations dictate whether I carry a bladder versus bottles. And I drink a lot, so I think if I'm going on a long run where I have no option of getting back to my vehicle to like resupply, I'm going to use a bladder. And so I do a lot of like loops where they're, in the past couple weeks I've been doing 20, 22, 23, 24 mile loops, and it's like, that's 4 to 5 hours of running.
yeah,
That two bottles aren't going to last.
no,
And
no,
so even if I carry two more like in my bag, I could do that, but why would you do that and just carry a bladder? And
right,
so
yeah,
and then you don't have anything up front. You don't have to worry about that. You just have something in your back, and it's a little bit more convenient. On the other side of that, I like using a bladder in the wintertime versus bottles because I wear my vest underneath my jacket. And if I
Yeah.
have bottles, they just like stick out
Yeah.
and the jacket just doesn't fit right. Where in the back, you usually have a little bit more play. And oh, here we go again. I'm trying to charge my phone at the same time of recording, so sorry.
Yeah, you have to do that.
Actually, sorry, not sorry, because I've had a day. Give me a
Yeah,
break.
we don't care. We don't care. Your phone can fall over all at once.
Um, so yeah, your back usually has a little bit more forgiveness, and so I carry a bladder, and they don't freeze like as easily as if
Is
you was
those
to carry a
bottles? Yeah.
bottle. So do I race with a bladder? Absolutely not. And but cowboy, I think I definitely will probably use a bladder because the potential of it being hot is going to be high. It's what 20, sometimes 20 miles in between aid stations. Like,
Yeah.
later in the race that could be 6, 7, 8 hours. And so I think having a bladder is a really good idea. But I
Yeah.
I like bottles and I like bladders and I've recently learned to like bladders. So I just I don't know.
For me, living in Colorado for so long and doing a lot of mountain adventures, we would just carry two bottles and we'd get water out of the streams.
Yeah,
I have a
yeah.
Steri pen, which those things are awesome. They just take about 90 seconds to do a liter of water, which
Yeah.
people would be like, well, it's clean water, but if you got to do 5 or 6 bottles for people, you're standing around for 5-10 minutes. But what I have now too is one of those 1 liter hydropass, the flask with the filter on it.
Oh yeah, I've thought about using one of those because we have water crossings too, and I thought maybe that would be interesting. Oh, another thing is I carry bear spray in the summertime, so I have to give up a pocket for for bears.
There was this there was this lady on the trail today, and she was coming down, and like she stopped, and when you run into someone on the trail that they know that we're crazy and this is what we do, and they're not like thinking we're crazy. So we start talking to her, and she's like, "What are you guys training for?" She goes like, "Black Hills 100," and Mike's like, "No, I'm training for some other stuff, Wasatch 100 and a few others." She's like, "Oh, I'm going to the Dolomites here in a little bit, and I'm doing a multi-day pack through the Dolomites."
That's cool.
And we're like, "Oh, that's so cool." And she's like, "I did Mount Blanc last year. I did the tour around Mount Blanc."
Yeah.
So we go up, then we come down, then when we're going back up again, we see her, and this time I get a look at her, and she had like a little 22 pistol hooked to her pack right up front. And I'm like, "Oh, that lady's awesome."
Yeah, that's so cool.
It was like a revolver, just like right there. I don't think it
That's
was
so
for us,
cool.
but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I got you. Yeah, that's too
Uh,
cool. That's too cool. Hey, something funny that happened today. So like I carry.
yeah,
And I was carrying when I had my incident, and so the cop came up to me, and the first thing I did is said, "Hey, I just want to let you know that I do have concealed weapon on me." And he goes, "Oh, cool. What do you got?" I was just like, you're in Alaska when the cop is like, "What do you got?" As opposed to like, okay, thanks for letting me know. I've had to put it on the dash before, like away from me, so it's without, reach.
yeah,
I just, it's just a common courtesy. I think there some states are required to reveal that you have a
yeah,
weapon,
yeah.
but probably all states, to be honest with you, I should know that law, but
No,
um,
it's not all states.
is it not?
Colorado's
Okay.
not. No, I don't think Arizona is either. When I lived in Arizona, um, it's kind of like South Dakota. Everyone, you know, from Flagstaff to the Grand Canyon's out in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing really.
Yeah.
So everyone carries. Uh, and we got pulled over by highway patrol, and he walks up, and guy rolls down his window, and he goes, "Where's your gun?" And in Arizona, it's 2 moves. So whatever their 2 moves is, so you can
Hmm.
have one in the pipe. You just got to have 2 moves. So one is pulling it out of wherever it's concealed. Then a lot of guys will buy safeties on guns, which whatever, but that's their second move. So then they're ready to fire.
Hmm.
And he's like, "Where's your gun?" And he's like, "It's right there." He's like, "Okay, just don't touch it."
Yeah, that's what he told me. He was like, "Yeah, as long as you're not going to touch it and shoot me, I think we're good." I'm like, "No, I think we're good."
I was like, in Utah, like even when you're going hunting, your like shit has to be your ammo can't be in your gun. You can't have a magazine in your gun. Your ammunition has to be in your trunk,
Oh my
and your like
gosh.
guns can be up front. And it's just like, and I don't know the concealed laws in Utah because of whatever, but I was just remember growing up that we always had to have our gun and our ammunition in separate places.
No, I mean mine's got one in the chamber. I mean, it stays on safety and it's in its holster, but like I don't know. We can get I guess get political here, but
Yeah,
what's the point of owning one? But I don't know. Now it
no,
was in
I'm
the
the
door. It wasn't like wasn't necessarily on me. It was just in the door, but no, Alaska, they don't have many restrictions when it comes to firearms. It's a constitutional carry state, so
in Colorado. I mean, South Dakota's the same way. Colorado's the
yeah.
same way. A lot of people just don't know it. So your gun is a part of your house property,
Mm.
so it can be concealed legally, and one can be in the pipe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
people, and I'm the same way with you. If I have to use my gun, I'm not gonna have time to put one in the chamber.
Yeah.
There's just too much. There's too much. But gun talk. Well, a big race just finished today.
Yeah, when you said earlier, I was asking you about a bladder, and you're like, I probably wouldn't wear a bladder unless you know Cocodona. And so that got me thinking, like, uh, are you thinking about Cocodona or what?
Uh, you know,
I
uh,
honestly think that, like, for me, it would be cool to do. I don't really have a desire to do it, if that makes sense.
mhm,
But I think for you, it seems like something that would be right up your alley. Because, yeah, it is a race, but like you're out there fighting your own demons for 5 days.
yeah,
And like we are not attached to the race environment of that race. Like
yeah,
that race is days apart from, like in a 100
yeah,
miler, like
yeah,
you could potentially be a few hours behind the winner,
yeah.
you know,
Correct. Yeah, yeah,
like I don't know, for instance, when I ran Bighorn, the winner won it in like 26 hours and I did it in 30 something. So it's like we're separated by a few hours.
yeah,
In this race, like the winner won it in 58 hours. I'm not cracking 100. So that's almost 2 days of separation between me and the winner. So it's a race, but it's not. You know what I mean? To
yeah,
the normal people. That's the way I see it. I see it more as an adventure than an actual race for us.
yeah. I was. We usually geek out on it. This year, I didn't geek out on it too much. I don't know. I don't know why.
I totally did.
I kind of paid attention. I didn't listen to a lot of the live stream. I was just busy with work. When I was on my runs, I did listen to it. I think I would love to do Cocodona, and I would want to do it Andy Glay style, no support.
Well, I
Just go
hate to
out.
tell you this, but if you're doing it, I'm there. So
All right.
you're not going to be able to keep that from me. I'll start peeking your ultra sign up to make sure you didn't sign up for it. I will just
Well,
show
did
up, be
you?
like, "Hey, I'm here."
What's her name? Callie. Callie.
Kelly Vinson?
Did you hear what she told her boyfriend?
No.
Because she was doing it unsupported too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she said he was like, "Well, can I talk to you?" And she goes, "No, you can't talk to me. I don't even want you at the aid stations. You can talk to me from afar or something." What she said, like, he's like, "Well, can I help you?" And she's like, "No, I don't even want to see you, really." And I
That's
was like,
funny.
she had her problems, but no, I think, but Cocodona would just. I mean, it's a huge commitment. We all know that. Money
Yeah.
wise, it's like 2 weeks of time, really. And right
Yeah,
now
it
where
really
I'm at, I just
is.
can't really like. I can't. I can't justify doing it where I'm at right
No,
now in
I
life.
I 100% agree with that.
And the Cowboy is 4 days, right? And it's
Mhm.
the awesome thing with Cowboy. It starts on Friday and ends on Monday.
Yeah.
Typical people, working class people, can do cowboy.
Yeah.
I mean, take Friday and Monday off. Of course, there's gonna be some more days taken off. Thursday, probably Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, right? But like Cocodona starts on a Monday and ends on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Depending where you're living, it's just there's a lot of logistics involved. And I was thinking about that the monster too. It's like I don't was that 7 days cut off on that?
Yeah. No, I think it was more than 7. I don't actually remember.
I don't
I don't
remember
know.
either.
I flushed that one out of my brain.
Yeah, me too. After all the poop bucket stories, that was the best thing. Though was like people posting stuff about the race, or even on Destination Trails. You get on there, start reading the comments, and everyone's like, "Go to Reddit and read about the poop buckets."
Yeah, I know. That was all you remembered from Arizona Monsters, the poop buckets.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Uh,
that's not me, bro. That's not me.
yeah. But oh no, it was cool to see people really throw down. Like Dan Green, like they all took off. Whatever happened with Courtney happened with Courtney. I don't know if she was just trying to get a 100-mile race or 100 miles in pretty quick for whatever she's got coming up.
Yeah, did they ever come out and say? Like
Someone
all I
said,
saw
I read a
was that it
comment
was
that it
just
was,
wasn't her day or something like that.
yeah, stomach issues.
Ah, I
Yeah,
don't
but
believe that.
either do I. She threw down 108 miles pretty damn quick. Anyways, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. In my opinion, she was using it for training for something. Just that's my opinion. I could be wrong, but
Yeah,
I,
that's
but
true.
then the Harold. I mean, he was going out at that blazing pace, and
My gosh, I saw him running into an aid station and he had to been doing 7-minute pace.
yeah,
And
when
I
he was
was
flying
like,
down that hill,
yeah, what are you doing, bro?
yeah, and
You could feel
even
good at 30, but not, you know.
even String Bean said something. He was like, "This is awesome, but you can't sustain this pace, bro."
No.
And I was like, "Ooh,
Yeah. Who do you think who do you think was the performance of the year?
from Cocodona."
Yeah.
I don't know, to tell you the truth. Like,
Because you can
no,
look at
Dan
it both
Green.
ways. Dan Green broke the course record with 6 additional miles
Mm-hmm.
or 7, whatever you want to call it.
What? Yeah,
Broke the
by
course
a
record
lot.
by
By what?
oh, it was about an hour. I think an hour.
It was
Yeah,
an hour.
it was a little over an hour. It wasn't much. But then you got Rachel, who is
Oh, it was
a
Rachel that threw it down.
Rachel is a back-to-back Cocodona winner,
Mm-hmm.
two-time Cocodona winner, and broke the course record, the women's course record by 9 hours.
That was the one. Yeah, that was the big one. 9 hours.
So I don't know. To me, the Rachel, like she wasn't leading from the get-go because we know Courtney took off and was leading, but
Mm-hmm.
she was not far behind Courtney the entire time Courtney was out there. And
True.
then when Courtney dropped and Rachel took over, which they didn't tell her for a long time that Courtney had dropped. And I think somebody from the live stream, one of the camera people might have actually let it
Yeah.
go because I don't think the crew was going to say anything.
No, they weren't going to
But
say anything.
it was the next day when they told her.
Finally told her. Yeah.
Um, but she never let off the gas. She
No.
just like cruised. And she almost had an overall podium spot. She got fourth
Yeah.
place overall.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, like that's a throwdown.
Yeah. No, she definitely. Yeah. She.
Now, I'm not discounting Dan Green's performance by any means, but to shave 9 hours off of a course record, you defended your title from the year before,
Yeah.
and women's field was pretty elite. They had some, I mean, Sarah, how do you say her name?
Oh.
Oskazowski or
Yeah.
Oskaz? I can't remember her
Yeah.
name, but
Yeah.
how do you say it?
Oskazowski or
But
whatever. Yeah.
yeah,
Sarah O.
she's won it before,
Yeah.
and so so you have a previous Cocodona winner.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, man, Rachel, she threw it down.
She did throw down. Yeah. She probably, definitely performance. But you know what I just think though, is Andy Glaze doing the 300 and coming to do 250.
Yeah, that's incredible.
He did 550 miles in
In a
Arizona
month
in a month,
of racing.
and yeah, um, it is what he is, being what it is, but that's really that's really amazing. Like he even still had 100-mile weeks in between those two, so because he's on that 100-mile streak. So
There was a
you
couple
know,
people that did that. I think Eli did that as well.
did he? Well,
Yeah.
Eli dropped Arizona Monster.
Oh, did he? I thought he finished
Yeah,
it.
he dropped. No, he dropped.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
realize
he
that.
dropped. He had something, which was cool that he came back and was able to finish Cocodona.
Yeah.
He had something
Yeah.
go on, knee or something. I can't remember.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
But also those, Garmeyer, these guys that are finished 5 times.
And Garmire like threw down a little bit. Like he wasn't,
Yeah.
he was up there. What did he get? Like fourth or fifth or
Oh well, Rachel got fourth. He was top 10,
yeah.
definitely top 10. I'm not sure where he was at.
So like he was somewhat in contention of a podium spot, and he's a five-time finisher. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
insane.
yeah. Just eh, that distance. I mean, not to take anything away from Moab and Bigfoot and those other Tahoe. They're not. I haven't been on the course and never run them, but they just don't. To me, they don't have as much steam as like Cocodona does. That is a tough freaking race. Starting in the desert and going up to the Alpine in Flagstaff.
What do you think drives the elite competition of Cocodona versus Tahoe or Bigfoot? I'm not saying elites don't go to those because we know they do,
They do.
but
I think for me, Cocodona has built a name. It's a well-known race now. It gets lots of eyes on it. Air is a great race company, and if I would want to bet that these guys want to go out there and support Air these communities that they get to run through, and you're running from one side of Arizona up to the top, and
yeah.
you get to run through all these towns. Um, it's a. I just think it's something else. Something else
How much do you
besides.
think it's sponsor driven because of the attention that it gets? I mean, at some point the live stream was like what it was, 6 to 10,000 people watching the live stream at a time. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, that's a lot of eyes
Mm-hmm.
watching these elite athletes run. So how much do you think sponsors play a role in, hey, I want you to do Cocodona?
It's probably some, but Dan Green doesn't have a sponsor. Rachel doesn't have a sponsor.
I think Dan Green was sponsored by the feed.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And then he does have Ultraspire because our
Okay.
fellow guest from Ultraspire was out there with him.
Oh, I saw that picture actually.
Yeah, yeah, it was out there with him. So I think that was a last minute addition type thing. So, but nothing as opposed to like, I'm sponsored by Hoka. I'm a Hoka athlete or,
Or
you
Courtney
know,
being the Solomon athlete type of
yeah,
thing.
exactly. Not to that level.
True. Yeah.
But where, so that, that begs another question is like, okay, Dan Green won this race, but what else has he done? What else has he done to justify? And I'm not saying I don't know his record. I mean, I'm not saying anything, but where does a Hoka or a Solomon come in and pick him up
I
off of,
think.
one race? Where like Rachel, she's not sponsored, but like if we looked at her ultra sign up and oh my gosh, I didn't
Yeah.
look up Dan. Dan could be just as impressive, and he seems like a super nice guy. I'm not discounting Dan's performance by any means. I keep talking about Rachel, but I'm
Yeah.
not discounting Dan's performance. But yeah, I know she's got a history of winning, and how she's
Hmm.
not sponsored, I don't understand.
I know Dan did Javelina in 13 hours.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think he's finished Javelina twice, and that's all I've really heard about Dan. Rachel. I don't know what she did at Desert Solstice. I heard she threw down though.
Yeah.
Then she won Crazy Mountain. You know, if you can win Crazy Mountain, that tells me
Yeah, you
really
get my
who you are.
respect.
Yeah,
After
yeah.
putting 26 miles in the mountains out there, that's a
Mine was
beast.
all mine was all driving around in a car, so that was just beast in itself.
You got a little downhill 10K.
I did, and I got to run through the cow pasture to the
Yeah.
finish.
The holy cow pasture,
Yeah,
the ankle breaker.
yeah. Then it seemed like this year, and this is my opinion again, like we had Cam Haines run,
Hmm.
you know,
On a broke foot.
on a broken foot.
And he got like 14th or something place.
Yeah, like he had a great day that one day, got over 70 miles or something like that because he was, um, then, Andy, then Eli, Callie was in there. It was, it seems like this year was more of a mid to the back of a pack
Yeah.
too. And, they said they've been pushing that and they're trying. All we see is the front with the elites, but they do cover everyone to the last runner.
Yeah.
And,
Everlapper
I didn't
does a great
really,
job.
really this year, I didn't hear anything much about the Cocodona or the 125. What is it called?
Sedona Canyons?
Sedona
Or
Canyon. I
Sed
didn't even hear
yeah.
anything really about
Was it
that.
Sedona? Yeah, I think it is Sedona Canyons.
I know the finisher they didn't have a live feed on, and people were pissed off about that. But
Mm,
and they said multiple times that their goal this year was to get every 250 finisher.
good.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, if you think about it, Cocodona is the race, right? And then
Yeah.
all those other ones are subsets of the main event. And
Hmm.
so, in my opinion, like, congratulations, you ran 125, 78, or 36 miles, but the main focus is Cocodona because that's the race. These other races wouldn't happen without Cocodona. So,
Right, and I often think about this too, like UTMB week. Like they make sure each of those races, have their own little spot.
yeah,
Like UTMB Mount Blanc, that's that's the big one, right? But there's
they also
still
happen
the
on different days, though.
days, right? And
Yeah,
they're like, Mount Blanc's getting this day, CCC's getting this day, so everyone gets their thing, but it's a week.
yeah,
I mean, it's pretty cool,
yeah. It's a whole
I
week of
think.
racing. It's also a 100 miler versus, well, they do have that, what, 200 and something mile race. I
Yeah,
forget what it is, but
Tours de Grant. No, no,
no, not Tour de Jean. They actually have a big race during
but it's
UTMB.
yeah, but you're running with
It's
someone
a
else.
Yeah, it's the partner race. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what is that? Anyways, yeah, I can't remember.
Maybe like the UCC or something like that. I don't know what it is,
I
but
don't remember either.
I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, no, I don't know. Dude, it's really hard to I would understand from a live streaming perspective, like it's really hard to please everyone. And I
Hmm.
liked how they set up the camera at the finish line towards the back, And
Hmm.
so you're seeing all the Sedona Canyons or the Flagstaff Crest runners coming in.
Hmm.
I had an athlete that ran the Mingus Traverse, which is 78 miles, and they didn't have any kind of coverage. I happened to see my athlete at the Mingus aid station because they had the camera set up and she happened to be there and walking around and I saw her. But as far as like finish line or any of that beauty, there was nothing. So it's hard to capture the smaller races and do justice to Cocodona at the same time.
And I also think about it too is the people running the race are the people that are doing the thing. Uh, People get angry when they're wanting to watch, and I get that they want to watch, but we're still pretty new with this live stream stuff. Well, we shouldn't be. It's what 5 or 6 years now. It's still new, and that chat just gets crazy with people like you know people were getting mad that they weren't going to Rachel after Dan had finished, and it's like Rachel's still a ways back there. Like,
Yeah.
you guys don't know Ultra, obviously, if you're saying go right to Rachel, because we got a while before Rachel's coming through.
Yeah,
You
because
know,
second
and
place was a few hours behind him, and then they were battling for third and fourth, and he overtook her on the ascent
on the
up, and
downhill.
then was
Yeah.
it on the downhills where he took her? Yeah, so he took her on the
Well,
down.
he was. I was watching. I was actually watching that spot. It's where they got to the flap. It's called Fat Man's Loop, where they got down off the thing, and he just, man, he started flying.
He took off. Yeah, I
He
did
took
see him
off,
pass.
and
I saw him pass her as well. But yeah,
yeah,
he
and
did. He left her.
but I don't know. A lot of times I just have to turn that chat off because it just gets too much.
I did like I turned it off because there was a lot of complaining, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
why are we complaining about a free service that they're providing us? Like, we're not
Yeah.
having to pay for this.
Nope.
They're live streaming this awesome race for us to spend an entire week watching, and we don't
Mm-hmm.
have to pay a dime for it. Yeah, there's going to be
Nope.
glitches because you're in the middle of the desert, like you're running off satellite internet, or somebody's cell phone.
Cell phone,
It-
right?
It's going to be, there's going to be glitches. The screen's going to be blurry. Like, man, there is a lot of complaining in that. I guess when you get, 10,000 people in there, that ends up happening.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so this year we forgot about ND AJW also ran too.
Oh, yeah. I forgot AJ Taper ran it.
Um, yeah, I kept forgetting about that. Then the commentators would say something. He's running. I'm like, oh, I keep forgetting. Oh, I lost my train of
How'd he
thought.
end up
But
doing?
it's
I
I
didn't
just
see.
saw something. Um, when I was looking to get a quick update, I just go to Instagram and go to the Cocodona
Yeah.
thing. They were doing a really good job there. I mean, all this stuff was coming up rather quickly, and you could get a good reference of what was going on. I just saw something today. I don't know how long he took
Hmm.
him or what. I just saw him at the finish. Yeah, it's still, this year they had, thinking about, they have Satisfy, um, which
Yeah,
I was like,
Satisfy's been there for a few years because they've always run that aid station.
yeah, and
I mean, they can afford to put on a baller aid station.
yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I was like, looking at those moth shirts, I think they're kind of cool. I'm not going to pay $120 for one though.
Bro, just take some scissors and go to town on a
Well, I was
on a
like,
$15 shirt.
well, I just go get the mods and do it real. Like, I was reading like their description. They're like, these are something designed for hot spots on the body. I'm like, okay. Like, when your body gets hot, it's like, we need Dave on here to tell us, with the rectal thermometer where people get hot. Like,
Uh,
I was just laughing at their description. I was just like, sure, dude. Okay, whatever.
yeah, yeah.
$120. Then their poster boy is Mike Versteeg, like most dirtbag guy ever around. Like,
I know he is such a dirtbag runner. It's hilarious.
yeah, and he's wearing like $100 shirts, and I don't know how much their shorts cost. I don't know if he was running in their shoes or not. Come on, like he. It's just because of his name and who he is. That's the only reason he's running in that stuff. Because there's no way he's buying that stuff.
Dude, he's going to a thrift store and buying
Oh yeah,
10-year-old shirts
yeah,
and cutting his own holes in them.
yeah,
Or if he's even wearing a shirt.
yeah.
He did. He
Yeah,
took it
then
off for a while there.
yeah. I saw something. I don't know where he dropped out.
Did he drop? I thought he finished, but I thought he dropped back quite a bit. Ended
No,
up
he
dropping.
dropped.
Oh,
He dropped. He was talking about, people were talking about doing the heat training, but this wasn't a year for heat training,
mm-mm.
so that kind of screwed him. But the humidity was kicking a lot of people's ass,
Yeah.
and that's when I saw a little clip of Versteeg, and he was like, "Man, that's so humid." He's like, "I live in Arizona, and I can't deal with this humidity. It's just taking it
Yeah.
out of me." I get it.
It's a wild race.
Yeah, and it's over till next year.
I know. Yeah, it's always fun when this time of the year is coming up and you can get to watch the live stream. I actually applied to do live stream next year, so you may see me on the live stream. If you do, you can talk trash. I won't be watching the chat because I don't care. So. Uh,
Did they let you sign up for a time slot this year?
no, so you basically just volunteered and you just said what you wanted to do, and I I just said I wanted to do the live stream. I happen to know the guy that runs the whole live stream thing, so I might shoot him a text and be like, "Hey, bro, hook it up." So
Hook me up with the golden hour.
yeah, yeah,
That'd be
that'd
so
actually be
awesome.
really fun. That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So, well, what's next for you, man? What you got going on?
I'm just gonna train for cowboy.
Yeah,
I'm actually gotten some running in this week, so
yeah. What are you anticipating like weekly mileage coming up for it?
I've been thinking about that. I'm thinking I'm gonna peak out about 80.
Okay,
Um, but this is how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna run to work and home from work,
okay.
and it's
I
6 miles each way.
actually. I actually had a different idea of an approach. I was thinking about maybe dropping my mileage a little bit and getting on the bike a little bit more to
Okay.
build my endurance. Because
Hmm.
in the end, endurance is what gets you there. And it's like it doesn't necessarily always have to be running. Like when I say
No.
drop my mileage, I'm thinking like 50 miles a week,
Yeah.
maybe high 40s, 50s. Something that's like, you know, I'm in the middle of training right now, and well, other than this week, I was supposed to run today, but I did not, and I won't. But but I'm high 50s, low, high 50s to I was supposed to do 68 miles this week, and it's like
Mm,
that just taxes me,
it
and
does.
I get tired of it, honestly.
Hmm.
And so, rather than exhausting myself with these high mileage weeks because I'm going to take a down week next week. I'm working, at a different location. It's just a good time for it. So we're
Yep.
taking a
Yep.
down week, and then the next week is my peak week, and we're going to hit it really hard.
Hmm.
And then start bringing it down for the race. But um, man, these long weeks they just take it out of you. What you give up, family time or other hobbies, or what you sacrifice to train for
Yep.
these. And us ultra runners, like a lot of us ultra runners, we like to run these back to back races, and we never really give our bodies time to recover. And so that was my thought process behind this is like, what if I lowered my mileage, running mileage a little bit, and did a 40 to 50 mile week, but stayed at a 40 to 50 mile week until cowboy,
Yep.
right? I mean,
Hmm.
that's a long time, you know,
Yeah.
of staying at those
Yeah.
40 to 50 mile weeks, but then throwing a little bit of biking and cycling and, build some endurance there. So I don't know. I've been tossing around the idea and see what I come up with, but
Yeah. For me, I haven't raced long distance in a while, so I'm just gonna go with the. I'm gonna train.
yeah.
I've been fucking around for years now, and but it's just what keeps me happy too. Like
Yeah.
you're talking about, I did that grind, you know, for a while, and then there was consequences with that grind.
Yeah.
With my life, that made me stop. And now, last weekend I pretty much did a 17 mile off the couch, 4,000 feet of gain,
Yeah.
and it was all mental, right? It was my legs were there. They weren't, I'm not fit or anything, but I just knew I could do it.
Yeah.
It wasn't. That was it. It was 100%. I just knew I could do it and go have fun, and that's what it was. Um, I was talking to someone. They're like, "You haven't been running. You just did 17 miles a day." I'm like, "Yeah," but that's who I am. It's like I don't know. It's weird because I don't even know how many runs. So this week, this last week was probably the most I've ran all year. I just barely
Yeah.
hit 100 miles this year
Oh wow.
today.
Yeah.
So you know what I
I'm
mean?
next week I'll be over 900 for the
Yeah.
year.
So you see the difference with,
Yeah.
you've been
My
grinding, I've just been fucking off.
It's been a grind.
Yeah. But you have to experience that and learn through it and choose what you want. But I decided, we were texting earlier this week. I'm like, I'd go for Cowboys just to go have fun and hang out and walk around 200 miles. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah,
But
and I
I'm gonna
think our
give
pro
it.
go
But
ahead.
I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it some substance and actually
Yeah. Yeah,
train.
of course. Yeah, for sure. And I'm not saying by me lowering my mileage a little bit that I'm not going to be taking it serious in training. I just
No, no,
think
I
that
know. I know what you're saying. I know what you're
I
saying.
think there's a way that I can incorporate because I do love cycling, and
Hmm.
that's one hobby that falls way
Short.
off.
Yep.
I haven't cycled at all this year, obviously because there's snow, but
Yep.
I haven't cycled at all this year, when right now is a really good time to get out and do it. But I'm headed into peak weeks for kettle, and you know, so I just think that there's got to be a way to maintain somewhat of a high middle, I don't know, depending on who you talk to, 40, 50 is not really high mileage, but
No.
a 40, 50 sustainable mileage for a sustained period and incorporate some cycling in there. I think it's definitely doable.
I think so too. I mean, we had that. One guy on there that did the lead man, and that was kind of his strategy too.
Yeah.
But you could go. If you're getting 40, 50 miles on your feet, you can go get 40, 50 miles on the bike pretty easy.
Oh yeah. That's a
And
day.
those are really 100-mile weeks, really.
Yeah.
With two different disciplines, equally keep you as fit. So
Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that. If you're doing 100-mile weeks combined, that's got to be something.
yeah, yeah, I think so. There's
So,
this guy. He's really quick on shorter distance stuff. He hasn't really dipped into the ultras, and that's all he does is cycle and run. He'll do some long runs, but a lot of the majority are long rides, but at a very high speed. Mountain biking, some road cycling, and that's how he. So when he's running those shorter races, they're so fast. There's
yeah.
so much trauma, during those short trail races with the vert and all that. So the reasoning is stay fit on the bike, no injuries, not
Yeah.
jamming ligament tendons, all that stuff. Race day, go out, knock it out of the park, get back on the bike. So that's pretty
Yeah,
good.
and I think our style of how we're planning on running it with the, run one, walk one, I
Hmm.
think is would bode really well for, being fit, just being
Yep,
fit.
being fit. Yeah, exactly, being fit. Yeah.
Where like, yeah, we're gonna be run walking and on our feet for 200 miles, but like we understand how to do this. We know somewhat. We haven't ran a 200 yet, but we have a lot of experience in ultra. We know how to problem solve.
Hmm.
We know our minds are capable of doing it. So I just think like having fitness is going to be a big component, but I don't think running fitness is 100% necessary. That's
I,
just what I'm
I,
trying to say.
no, I totally agree. I totally agree with you. Um,
Yeah.
I agree. It's
I'm
not always
excited to
about.
see your 180-mile weeks. Go get 100, bro. Go get a 100-mile week. My body can't
Well,
handle it. My
uh,
body can't handle high
there's
60s.
not going to. When I say peak is going to be 60, that means there's probably only going to be one of those,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, my body can't
and
handle those.
that might include my 12 hours of Crow Peak. I figure I'm just going to park the van down there on a Friday night, start at 6 and finish at 6 in the morning.
I do plan on running a 50-mile race in prep for it, so that will be a big week too. So it's not like I'm,
Hmm.
giving up training altogether, but I need a break.
Yeah. Yeah, and you said that you're going to take a break after last year.
I know, I know. Here's what I'm thinking. I know we're coming up on an hour, and people are probably like, "Oh my God, get off here." Uh, I So I signed up for, well, I put in an application for the ITI 150.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's in at the end of February. And my thought process is if I don't get into Western States next year, then I'm not going to run a Western States qualifier next year. I just, my body's, my body wants, I want to rest a little bit. I wouldn't mind going after like a couple 50Ks and like kind of throw down on some 50Ks
I
rather
see
than
what you're made
spending
of.
like, yes, rather than spending these grinding hours, like going after a, a mid to backpack 100
100.
miler. It's
Yep.
just like,
Yep.
what am I capable of? Like working on a little speed, maybe a little vert, and go after and try to go throw down a 50K. Like I think those would be fun to go do. So
Yep.
I don't know, man. I really want to run Western States, but it's like it's really limiting the amount of races that I can do. And it's like, I'm putting a lot of money towards kettle and a lot of effort training for kettle. And this is, January to June training for kettle.
Half a year.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, I could, well, I'm not going to travel down to the States, lower 48 to, run a 50K, but
Yeah.
there's if you got a 100 miler coming up, but I don't know. I think there's a lot of cool races out there that I'm like overlooking that I could be running. And I think if you go back last year, you'll probably hear me say the same thing. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I don't know. All right, let's get off here, man. People are probably tired of us jibber jabbering. But you know what? You signed on to this podcast, so
Yeah,
this
you're
is
listening.
this is
So
what you get. So
if you're still here, this is what you get.
yeah. All right, Robbie. I'm gonna turn it over to you. You take us out.
Oh, you just had to do that, huh? So if you like what Justin and I were gibbering about for an hour, leave us a comment on Instagram. Go to YouTube and subscribe, please. Give us some subscriptions on YouTube. Trying really hard to build that up on YouTube there, posting some stuff there. And we'll see you on the trails.